Hello, friends. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in this in the part of the world. This is the first time I'm coming to say a few words. Essentially, it is today is an auspicious day. Uh, it's called Guru Poornima in India. This is the day where we pay homage to our gurus. Uh, I have been out of India for several years now. My children are growing up in a Western society. I think it's very important for us parents to instill in our children a sense of spirituality. Uh, and I will pause there to make a differentiation between spirituality and religion. It doesn't matter to me what religion they want to follow or not follow, but it is extremely important for me that they are spiritual because only then they can be good human beings. The children these days are so attached to the digital world. Uh, I thought I will also use this digital world to introduce them to the world of spirituality that India is so rich of. And hopefully, it would be a smart move because these days, as you understand, communications with kids are always a problem with so many digital social sort of networking sites available to them with the YouTubes and Facebooks and whatnot. My knowledge is limited, but I thought that by this means we'll try to get to them some of the stuff that I would like them to do. A guru, as you all know, is considered to be an expert. That's a colloquial term. He's a guru of anything. That means he knows everything about that. He's the most learned of that. But if we go to the root of the word guru, there are two words, the two syllables, gu and ru. So q means darkness, and ru means light. So a person who leads you from darkness to light is called a guru. In this case, the light is more to do with the light of knowledge. We are all in the dark, and you may ask, what is so dark about? And we are not in the dark. We are all in a lighted rooms. But the darkness is about our knowledge about the truth with a capital T. Now that brings us briefly to the esoteric discussion of the purpose of life and stuff like that. But to contextualize it with our discussion today, there are few laid down rules or laid down assumptions which will lead to this discussion. The first assumption is that we are all seekers of the truth. Now, what's the truth? The truth is, who are we? And the answer is that we are all part of that great supernatural, supernormal superhero who is called God. So, in a nutshell, our journey in life is to realize that we are Him, or we are part of the same super consciousness as He. Uh, so the question is that, so what are we doing, studying and working and doing so many things? Well, yes, we need to do that. We will need to strive. We need to uh, conduct ourselves in this world without losing sight of the ultimate task for each man, each woman, to relate himself or herself to the pure consciousness which is present in all of us. So, if that is true, then how do we do that? And this is where Guru comes into being. So, the Guru helps us to go from this darkness or the lack of our knowledge, lack of our ability to navigate our paths in this darkness to the light. So this brings us to the story of Guru Poornima, where I heard the story long back from Sri Ravi Shankar, and I thought it would be interesting to narrate the story out here in terms of the Guru Poornima. So the story goes like this. So there were this four people who were trying to find out more about life, more about the unlife and the life beyond. And they were, and that happened many millions of years ago, where men could go and come back from heavens. Okay, so that's the story. Like, so these people go to the Brahmalok. As you know, in India, we have this trinity, which is called Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. Now, I will diverge a bit out here to explain the Trinity. The Trinity is also in Christianity where we call the Father, the Holy Father, the Holy Son, and the Holy Ghost in between. There are discussions around that, whether the Holy Father, Holy Son, and the Holy Ghost, how they interact, and what is the relationship between them. I'll not get into that, but the Trinity concept is quite predominant in India, in the old religions of India, where we called Brahma, which is the creator, Vishnu, who is the keeper, and Maheshwar, or Shiva, who is the destroyer. So the interesting part of this concept is that we recognize God as a creator. We do recognize God as the maintainer, or who carries out the creation. And we also recognize that there is a God who will destroy. So essentially, everything that is created has to be destroyed. So that's the underlying assumption of life. So what is there will not be there at some point in time. Again, at some point in time, so that means time has nothing left on its path. Everything is transient. Nothing will stay in time. Anyway, coming back to our story. So at that point in time, it is said that Brahma used to sit in its own heaven, where there is a huge amount of creations happening. He's probably creating a small butterfly at that point in time, and several species of human beings or whatever, and he was busy, right? So these four people go there, they stare at each thing, couldn't figure out. So they stayed there for a while, and then they finally go to Vishnu Lok. So if you guys say that, okay, so Brahma created the factory, okay, they created that stuff, that machine, and Vishnu is the maintenance engineer for it, right? So that's the way. Uh, Interestingly, Sri Ravi Shankar also alluded to them. That's very interesting. I remember that. So essentially, so in the maintenance part of this whole creation, Vishnu is sitting with a lot of wealth, a lot of things. He's busy with you know, judging people, giving them punishments, or giving them rewards, or doing carrying on with life. And but these people, they are unable to enter. They have been stopped at the guards. So they can't enter Vishnu Lok, and finally they came to the Shiv Lok. And in Shiv Lok, he sees there are sages and uh, priests and holy men busy in their meditation, and people who have many years of pious life sitting there with Shiv busy with his family, the huge family that he has, of eminent people and of very religious people and very noble people. And so that's a different world altogether. So finally, what happens is that there also they couldn't do much, and then they finally come back to Earth. In Earth, when they were trying to figure out what do we do? We have gone to the three heavens, and we couldn't figure out uh, how to get a guru. So they just they were sitting beside this river, and then in the night, and were perplexed and feared and very confused. So it is said that there came another person who was much younger to them. These men were supposed to be quite old, right? So this came a person who was very young, and he sat with them. And it is said, without speaking a single word, all their doubts, all their questions, and all their insecurities, inquisitiveness, everything vanished. And they were surprised. So here comes the Guru, and the Guru is able to vanquish all the questions, all the doubts, and all the uncertainties that lives inside our heart and minds without speaking a word. Okay, so that's the, and it all happened on a full moon night. So that's why we call Poornima, and therefore the Guru Poornima alludes to that date. Now, that's the story. Now here, an interesting concept of the Guru is that the three loks, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiv, the uh, three gods, and the three lokas are compared, or um, in another way, they are the metaphors of your mind, your intellect, and your ego, right? So your mind, um, it craves for things, it rejects things, it doesn't want things, it doesn't want certain things to be there, it wants certain things to be there. That's the mind. That's how the mind works. The intellect, it starts judging. No, is this good? Do I have it? I don't. Whether I should want it, or whether I should go for another something, right? So that's the intellect, which is in a judgmental state. And then comes the ego, which is beyond the intellect, where the ego, it doesn't want to leave the experience it has. It has got its own bias, its own experience, and it clings onto that in accepting or assessing the situations, right? So that's the intellect. So the issue, the three lokas that these four people have seen are akin to these four states of ourselves. The purpose of the guru is to take you above these three states. So in this context, a very interesting part I would like to show you is that this, right? You can see my thumb. What do we do? We said, great, fantastic. This is the symbol of everything that is great. This is the symbol of the ultimate good. This is the symbol of divinity. All these four fingers that you have are worthless if you don't have this. So if you don't have divinity, whatever the other fingers stand for do not count, right? So this finger is your mind. This finger is your intellect. And this finger is your ego. This finger is you, your selfishness. All that you want, you everything culminated, your all the actual not God things that are in you are here. It is only when your you can bend itself and touch the God is when you can attain knowledge of the super consciousness. Now this is called the Chin Mudra. Chin, Chin, Chin Mudra, where your you will have to bend to meet the divinity. Okay? So I think in the guru is someone that helps you do that. In the context of Guru Poornima, I think I would like to end this by the Guru Vandana, which is an interesting sutra, which I don't know who wrote it. It's thousands of years ago, and it has been expanded by several writers, including Sankaracharya. He's one of the stalwarts of Vedic interpreters, uh, born some 1,000 years ago, maybe 500 years ago, I don't know. So, but what it says is that it basically says that here is Guru who takes you from the darkness to the light. You surrender yourself completely to him to understand all that he's trying to give you, where you surrender all your doubts, all your questions, and accept the Guru's words to be the ultimate truth. He is your friend, he is your mother, he is your father, he is everything to you. He is above all that you have. And it goes on like that. It's very interesting. I will not get into the literal meaning of each and every verse, but I will just read out the Guru Vandana, which reads like this. Om ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्यो ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मन्त्रं सत्यं पुजा सत्यं सत्यं देवं च निरञ्जनं गुरुवाक्यं सदा सत्यं सत्यमेव परं पदं। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देव महेश्वर गुरुदेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। पितृमातृसुहृद्बन्धु विद्यातीतानि देवता नादृशं गुरुणा श्रीमान् प्रसदति परं पदं। ध्यानमूलं गुरुमूर्तिं पूजामूलं गुरुपदं मन्त्रमूलं गुरुवाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरुकृपा। ब्रह्मानन्दपरं सुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं दण्डातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्तमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं दिक्तं विमलचलं सर्वादिसाक्षिभूतं भवतीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं मम नमामि। तमेव माता च पिता तमेव तमेव बन्धुश्च सखा तमेव तमेव विद्याद्रविणं तमेव तमेव मम सर्वदेवदेव। So you are the God of gods, you are my mother, you are my father, you are my friend, you are everything to me. So that is the level of surrender that you need to do to your guru, uh, who will hold your hand from darkness to light. The question is, where is your guru? Do you have one or do you don't have one? It is said, if you deserve it, if you long for it, the guru will find you. And if he has already found you, he will always be with you in three states: the physical state, the spiritual state, and the causal state. So don't worry about that. You first, we have to first condition ourselves to seek for the truth, and the guru will find us and help us to do that. So thank you guys. Thanks friends for watching this. Hope this was interesting. If I guys have bored you, sorry for that. Try to make it more interesting next time. Mind you, this is my first video on such a topic. So bye till next time.